Before I begin with today's video, I just want to talk about some where you can find me, and and what and and what I do on some of these social media platforms. So you can find me on YouTube at Canicaria, the Amazing Kitty Asoltas, where I do videos not just talking um, about about metaphysics and esoterica and esoterica, philosophy and religion, and sometimes politics. But also, I do videos on video games. I may talk about people I used to that I used to watch or listen to, or I might just talk about mostly video games on YouTube at least. So if you like retro computing and retro and older and video games, you can check out my channel on YouTube. I also post videos on here of the old of like other stuff, and if you are into this sort of content, you can check me out on YouTube at Canicaria, and the channel name will be The Amazing Kitty Asoltas. So I'll show you the name again, as it is right here. That'll be the name. You can also check me out on BitChute under just Kitty Asoltas. Kitty Asoltas. And you can go to my website, which will be right here, and you can check out some of this stuff. I've got some valuable links in here. You can go there and look for some really good websites. Here, I have different little takes on various subjects. And other like links to various videos by various content creators. And I thought, why not? Why not just plug them? You can also find me on Twitter at Invisible Curious, no, with Invisible Amaz Curiousotas, and the account will either be Invisible Curiousotas, Amazing Curiousotas, or it'll just be Curiousotas. It might change at some point, and you can find me here, where I usually post regularly. And you can also follow me on Minds, where I plan to get back to posting again. It's been like years since I've been on Minds, so it has been quite a while. And you can follow me at Canicaria, Amazing Curiousotas, and you can also follow me on Parlor, where under at Curiousotas, and the account name will be The Amazing Curiousotas. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Hello YouTube, it is I, The Amazing Curiousotas, with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about a particular subject which came up when I saw this tweet from this individual on Twitter, and it reminded me of this of a quote from this gentleman. Your apophasis, or known also by Ken Wheeler, he said he is saying that he is very famous for saying nothing popular is true and nothing true is popular. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what the difference between what is popular and what is mainstream is. So we have this. This is the one in question that made the tweet, and so let's read. In case you haven't figured out by my tweets today, no anime fan with a brain should listen to anyone who calls themselves colonial otaku gatekeeper. Like, oh yeah, underdog BT. Yeah, that ought to be telling the what they're about. If you see like underdog, let's see what the other one is. So, no cog, you refuse to accept the fact that you were wrong. I grew up in the 90s. I knew that anime was DBZ, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon were the first I watched. Also, Toonami was a thing. That's not historical revisionism. That's first-hand experience. Hold this L. So what was this all about? I'm sorry, but I refuse to accept historical revisionism. Do you honestly believe kids watching Pokemon back in the late 90s were like, I'm an otaku, I love Japanese anime? No, they literally didn't know. And so really, yeah, I don't need to be fact checked by a clout chasing poser who ain't watched more anime than me. Well, provide proof that you've seen more anime. You know, I mean, I really don't know you, so I can't really substantiate whether the center of your claim holds like a chariot wheel on an axle, or on a that is properly aligned. Anime became mainstream in America in the 90s. Actually, it didn't become mainstream until like the mid 2000s. Like, it wasn't really mainstream until the mid 2000s. So that's a correction to your claim. You know, the 90s, it was still pretty niche. I mean, it was getting more popular. It was getting popular, but it was still quite a niche thing. I mean, I didn't even know about anime in the 1990s. It was only until like 1998, 1999 that I learned about it. And I didn't realize that that Pokemon was an anime series. I thought that was an American production. So I can substantiate the claim of colonial otaku gatekeeper, which I, by the way, have a little thing to say about his about the fact he's got gatekeeper in there. I've got something to say about about gatekeeping. So when I said the anime has been, when I said that anime has been mainstream for decades, that was a fact. As I said, you're wrong. You're wrong, underdog. You know. but expect cog to tweet something dumb and wrong. Well, let's see if he's wrong. There's a difference between something being popular and being mainstream, as I've already explained. Also, you're in no position to mock my name when you call yourself underdog, yet constantly bootlick the establishment. The fact that they have BLM in their name would be telling to certain individuals, and maybe worth like a valid criticism, I guess. Here's what I have to say about mainstream. A wise man's mind is only as about the gatekeeper remark, that is. A wise man's mind is only as open as it needs to be. He allows only as much as needed, otherwise his mind is shut. There must be a balance between conservatism and liberalism. We ought to gatekeep our minds from becoming delusional. Not everything. So let's take a look at something. How many of you know what the gatekeeper does? The gatekeeper observes, watches. The gatekeeper of a city watches, observes, and takes in and discriminates the information coming in, much like that of a charioteer. And in this case, the job of the charioteer is to be the discriminating intellect. And the job of the intellect is to properly interpret that information coming in from your five senses, and gatekeep the mind and direct the mind in the direction that it needs to go. See, that's the job of the intellect, is the gatekeep. Now, according to the to this guy, to this overdog BT, the job of the someone with the name gatekeeper in their name is not trustworthy. And I'm not saying that he's trustworthy. I'm not saying that he's trustworthy. I'm just making a point about how the fact that someone has named gatekeeper in their name doesn't mean that they're. It's just, you gotta really you gotta think critically about as in use the discriminating intellect, as in listen to the discriminating intellect when it tells you maybe this is not a person that's credible. So, yeah, on with what with my stuff on, with what I have to say, about mainstream. Not everything mainstream is true, and not everything true is mainstream. The truth can be popular or unpopular, but not always be mainstream. To appeal to the mainstream most of the time is the quickest and surest way to become irrelevant. And so, as I pointed out in the recent video about this tweet by Georgina Rose. She talks about about people who are willing to throw away entire segments of their traditions because people online deem them problematic. Are metaphysical traitors. If you place the opinions of man over the facts of the divine, you have no devotion in your heart. And traditions begin with what a person connects to a current that is metaphysically beyond them. Then it channels through them, but the traditions themselves come from something far beyond. If truth is individual, then it is opinion. If truth is binary, then there is inherent deception or misunderstanding. Language can never fully grasp the truth in capital T in its entirety. And idiosyncratic constructs can never come close to the truth with a capital T. Feelings are like waves upon the sea of the psychophysical, i.e., mind. So I thought this little video might be rather interesting, just to comment on this person's tweet and correct underdog BT is historical revisionism. That is about all. Peace out.